Hello music listeners, underground enthusiasts, and those of you who have empty water bottles on their nightstand, go throw those away right now. This is me telling you, and I'm only going to say it once. I'll go ahead and address the elephant in the room that I'm sure you're all thinking of. It's been a month since I've done the weekly tracks list, and I get it, no excuses, I'll hold myself accountable. Here's what we'll do. I'll take a bunch of songs from the past month, like the greatest hits of the past month, songs that I liked a lot. We'll talk about those, and then after we're done this week, next week, hard reset, back to a weekly schedule, and much more on the way. I've just been busy. Alright, enough talking, let's get to it. First track we're going to talk about this week is the new underscores track, Being My Guy, which was a wall socket, deleted scene. And I think the track's a lot of fun and expands a bit on like the lore of the album that was already pretty rich with narrative. And similar to the story being told, the song is also an expansion upon the instrumental aesthetics that Wall Socket sort of set in place, which was a leap in sound that I found not only fitting for underscores, but also an improvement from her previous projects. The staticky crush mix would maybe imply otherwise at first glance, but the song has a really great sort of alternative rock bounce to it. It feels heavy, and in contrast, underscores vocals feel airy and melodramatic in a way, a reflection of the character being played. Although the vocals and writing are not a necessary standout when you put them in comparison to Wall Socket, I do think that they fit right in as a B-side that we kind of get a little bit afterwards. I'm really happy that we got to hear this. And honestly, I love this instrumental. In my mind, it's one of her best. Although I guess I do understand why the song itself wasn't included on the main album. It's a punchy track and it's viciously catchy. I'm a huge fan. Following it up, we have Josetta with The Perfect Actor. This sort of persistently foggy background that the track has gives the nice thing a whole calming atmosphere. Even when the energy does ramp up a bit towards the end, it kind of maintains that as the grounding force behind it. The droning melodies that sort of drown themselves out in the background, playing around these gentle guitar strums, kind of borders on chamber folk a little bit, and it's a pretty good environment for Josetta's vocals to live in. It's a pensive and intimate track that sort of fights against this denial of identity and then idealizing a situation in which one wouldn't have to be dealt with at all. I think the glitched out percussion towards the end is pretty serviceable to the track, although you'll probably enjoy it more than I did, and although I wouldn't, by any means call it a detrimental mixing choice. I love how up close and personal everything sounds on this track. It's definitely one of Josetta's best. We had a new sydcxx track a while back with No Contact, and this is Syd kind of reaching new heights with a dark and sort of sultry R&B sound. I'm pretty consistently impressed with her vocal work, but on No Contact, I feel like she's really at the top of her game here. The choppy vocal flow over these bass pulses and hi-hats that crawl across the track like spiders is very captivating, and it's a very clean combination that I really have a hard time poking holes in any of it. Although I might enjoy the side of her writing present on songs like 7 New Messages, the aesthetic, performance, and energy of this song is a recent peak for her. Infinitely replayable and borderline noir. We have a new saoirse Dream track with I Want It All. Getting it out of the way now, just to sort of, make sure we're all on the same page, the little splat sound effect that is littered throughout this track does not get old at all. I love its inclusion every single time. I look forward to it. There's a bit of a grungy post-punk sound of this instrumental, and I think that it sounds great with saoirse's thin, kind of sweet vocal melodies, and this watery short hook is very catchable, very impactful, and all of the instruments, especially the drums, are tight and incredibly well mixed. It's quite the well-rounded track. In terms of artists that I've sort of been paying attention to recently on the come up, not to say that, saoirse Dream is anything new. She's been doing great things for a long time now, great things that you should go sort of check out her back catalog and listen to. I feel like recently she's really been hitting this creative stride. The focus and consistent quality of her tracks make her kind of feel unstoppable. Definitely an artist to look out for. My favorite of the recent tracks would probably be Down in Flames, but I Want It All is a very solid, amazing addition and an already pretty great discography. Up next, we have S.I.N, Survival and Negativity with The World Canvas. This song uses graffiti as like a driving metaphor to tell this story, and I do think it's like a masterclass in world building and storytelling. S.I.N's writing is very dense and delivered with a calculated enunciation that does not waste a single syllable. It's all very seamless. It's packed wall to wall with a sprawling narrative that is not only impressively structured, but also easy to follow, especially on a first listen, driven by this calm cadence. It's a straightforward approach that says as much as it can, and the time that it has, I'm kind of obsessed with it. And then we also have a new mercykill track with Face My Patience. mercykill has an artistic evolution over the past few years that has impressed me a lot, finding spots on my end of the year list last year, and I've brought them up multiple times on the channel as well. Because the formula of these blown out 808s and almost comically distorted vocals act as a crutch more than a style for a lot of the songs that I've heard over the past few years, but Mercy is completely different and hits the aesthetic very nicely. It's a dramatic and emotional sound that wraps itself up in foggy static and deep cavernous reverb, and Mercy's vocals screaming emotion. His flows cascade across this intoxicating vocal chop in the background, and underneath that mix is a very impressive vocal performance. I love the writing on this. I love the delivery on it. The sonic palette and the textures are very dynamic. Mercy only continues to impress. And then ending this list is Wenszy with Halftone, which is a somber dance track full of lush melodies and rich textures. I love this crushed snare against the swirling background of silhouetted melodies and twinkly key balances. It's very indulgent sound that leans heavily into these processed, spacey atmospheres and sickeningly sweet melodies. The vocals are just as indulgent and intoxicating too, delivered with a soft, gentle cadence, a spacey mix, a sort of foggy element to it, and they float way high above these thick kicks down below. It's a great pop track that I think balances a palatable catchiness and some more eclectic production choices. Similarly to sydcxx's No Contact, I feel like Halftone is just one of those songs that you can sort of just loop. It's so sweet, it's so nice to listen to, I don't get bored of it. And that's going to do it for this, I guess, month's roundup, in a way. Sorry for being gone for those of you who pay attention to those more weekly roundups. I've had a lot of weird stuff going on. I'm fine, just weird stuff. But I'm on the come up. This is the year of the Melmage, and things are only going to get better. Content's only going to get more exciting, so stay tuned. Catch me in the next video where I reveal that I am actually a robot being piloted by a bunch of 3-inch tall blue-collar workers, and they do the video instead.